Hi. Hey, welcome back to the first layer. This is Ask for Help. I am your host, Richard Cleveland. That's me, this guy right here. Yep, that's me. And I am here to answer your questions about 3D printing. We're going to talk a little bit about this thing today and where we're at. I've had to do some things off camera, so I'm a little bit ahead of where we are. But let's say hello to some people and say Happy Easter to you all. And let's start out with HVAC A to Z. There's our friend Sergio. Non-fam, welcome, welcome. We've got Mark L. Baker in the house. Shadell 3D. We've got Tim Postma, Stephen Reimer, Rex Waldy, Guy the Jedi. And I think I'm all caught up. All right. That's quick. That is very, very quick. Oh, there's Dominic Versetto. Good morning, Dominic. Good morning, sir. Yeah, so I'm going to be answering your questions about 3D printing today. I know you guys are all pretty much, hey, there's Shooter 59. Welcome, Shooter 59. Happy Easter to you as well. This show, what is this show? This show is about answering your questions about 3D printing. And that's what Ask for Help is. Now that we're kind of getting back to this because we're wrapping this up, a couple things I want to show you where we're at in this build while we get some questions in the chat. Don't forget that we have a Discord. I want to remind you of that. We also have this little guy right here. If you'd be so inclined, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It sure helps us out a lot. All right, so let's get into one of the things that we've got going on here right shortly. And I'm going to just switch cameras here real quick. So these are the clips. Tim from DeWitt 3D turned me on to these things, and I really like them. I think they're just awesome. They're very cool because they're basically a clip for your panels on your Voron printer, and they just open like that and they close like that. I've got about a dozen printed here in a nice purple. This is the PETG purple from Polymaker. Polymaker is now a supplier of ours for Filament, and they will be one of our sponsors going forward. So I'm really happy about this. These have that nice little Voron logo on them, and they're all going to go around the frame. So why am I printing these types of clips as opposed to any other type of clips? Well, happy Passover, Dominic Versetto. Yes, it is Passover for all of my friends of Jewish faith. And it is Passover for you, and I hope that Passover is treating you well and you're treating Passover well. So welcome. All right, so why am I printing these? Well, I want to make it easy to get in and out of this system. So that is the biggest reason that I'm printing these. Now, I like these because they're easy to print. They are you can print the whole bed of them. I print about a dozen at a time just so that I don't get a lot of wasted material, or I don't have a lot of failures due to a bed. So that's why I like those. But I want to show you guys this because KB3D is one of the suppliers for the stuff on this build. And they went ahead and did all of our panels for it. Well, not all of our panels. Our clear panels came from a different supplier, but they did our ACM panels and laser engraved the logo of the first layer on the very back of this one. And it looks amazing. And I can't tell you how nice this thing is. I hope that you guys can see that on camera okay. I hope that there's not getting too much light on it. But this is something I never thought I'd be doing on the backside of this. I've already put the foam tape on it, so it's got some nice, decent foam tape. I'm just going to set that back up there because I don't want it to get ruined. But yeah, so that's one of the things that we got going on. Hey, I wonder if you guys would mind hitting that like button today, because it certainly does go ahead and help us out. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do so. It helps out the channel a lot. It helps this show get seen in front of other people, and so on and so forth. So thank you. Let's move over to this camera right here. I switched around cameras today, so we got a few different cameras. So let's go to this camera right here, and we can see the underside of the Voron. And what we've done here, we have the Big Tree Manta M8P board here, and I'm not going to touch anything with this because this is made out of metal. It also has the CB1, and the CB1 is basically the Raspberry Pi equivalent, and this plugs right into this board, so it's a kind of an all-in-one solution. It is two separate things. I do have a heat sink on here. This heat sink does get fairly warm, like I'm touching it right now, and it does get fairly warm. It does look awesome. Never. It's done. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on there, but okay. You can see I've got power applied to the board. So we have our green light here indicating that our CB1 is working. We also have our red light over here, which means that the board is working. Nothing has shorted out. I haven't really tested anything. I just wanted to make sure that everything turned on, and it does. And if I go over to camera number 4, I'm going to show you guys what's going on here. Let me just move to camera number 4. That's not what I wanted to move to. This is what I wanted to move to. So as you can see here, we've got our SOC, which is our CB1. That is coming in at about 51.1 degrees Celsius. Our MMU is at 43.789, somewhere in there. We also have 24 degrees on the heated bed and 24 degrees on the nozzle, the extruder. So that tells me that we've got a lot of things hooked up right. This wasn't hard to set up at all. So I wanted to make sure, oh, you guys don't need to see that. Ha! You need to see this. That's what you guys need to see. So let's go back to this cam right here. And we will do this. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. I don't know why. Oh, I know why, because I'm on the same monitor there. But let's go ahead and have a look and see what's going on there. Hey, there's DeWitt 3D. Welcome, DeWitt. I hope you're having a great Easter. I do hope that you're having a great Easter. So this show is all about asking questions, and that's what I'd really like you guys to do, is ask me questions about 3D printing, about materials. I'm not a material scientist, but I do work for a company that produces materials, and they do a very good job of doing that. So I can talk to you about most any materials. I actually have quite a few materials from Polymaker right now that I'm going to be going over in different episodes. Once this thing is done, I have the ability to print some pretty cool materials, and that's what I'm going to do. Also, what just announced today or yesterday over the weekend is the brand new K3, I believe it's called, from Creality. It's their new printer that is supposed to be, I guess, the equivalent of a Bamboo Labs. Build a Basement, hello all, hello, welcome. There we go, everybody saying hello to everybody else. Yeah, I think that once I can try and get one in here, we might do a review on one very soon. So I'm pretty happy about that. So again, we've got some new cameras going on. We've got our new tabletop camera. Bum, bum, bum. We have our new close-up camera, which is this guy right here. Let's see if I can... Yep. There you go. That's me. So we've got that going on, and then of course we have our regular camera, this guy right here. I really like this one. So I had to do some camera swapping around here. I probably need to put some light over on that side of the room as well, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Looks pretty impressive from first glance. Yeah, it's not too bad from first glance. There is still some loose wiring I have to tidy up, of course, but It is looking better, and I can give you guys a zoom out here. Let's zoom out so you can see everything that's in the electronics bay. And we'll do this. There we go. All right, let's go back to that camera. So you can see everything in the electronics bay. We've got our SSR. Thank you to Tim, who had a spare one. We've got our 350 watt power supply from LDO, or not from LDO, but from Meanwell. I purchased one of these. Actually, I have a couple in my stock here. Of course, we have the Big Tree Tech M8P down here, along with the CB1. And you'll notice here, down here, I've made a little bit of a jumper cable to go from the Ethernet here to an Ethernet port on the back. So I'm not limited to actually having to utilize the Wi-Fi. I'm not a big fan of utilizing Wi-Fi all the time. So supposedly better features and embossed LiDAR with camera optional. Okay, I know what you're talking about there. There we go. No, I meant the K1 from Creality. Though your build is also impressive. Thanks, Tim. Creality versus Bamboo P1P versus Prusa Mark IV. Yeah, a lot of things are coming out right now. And I got to tell you, we are living in a new age of 3D printing, I think. Bamboo, of course, they jumped on getting out their Carbon and Carbon X1, or the X1 and the Carbon X1, or the X1 Carbon, whatever it's called, as well as they jumped on the P1P. Then they did their AMS. Then companies like Key Tech decided to do something very similar with their X3, I believe it's called. Prusa finally released the Mark IV, which we are going to get a chance to see coming up here in Calgary at the Calgary Maker Faire, happening May 13th and 14th at the BMO Center here in Calgary. Tim and I will both be there. We're co-oping a really big booth together. We're going to have a lot of fun. Jess, for any of you guys that have been around for a while, will know Jess. She's going to be hanging out in our booth, as well as John Bima will be hanging out in our booth, talking about the pro version of the, what is that thing called again? Yeah, that thing. The Gen 7. That thing, yeah. So he's going to be talking about that, as well as a printer that he is going to be releasing, I think, pretty soon. So we're going to have a lot of people hanging out, and we're going to be giving away some puzzles. Speaking of puzzles, dun, dun, dun. Now I can't do this puzzle blindfolded. Tim can do this puzzle blindfolded. I cannot do this puzzle blindfolded. But here's the puzzle. Let's move those guys out of the way. So, yeah. So we got to make sure that we've got all the parts in the right order. And I got a little bit of goobers on them. I know that those three parts go over there. These three parts come over here. So let's see if I can put this thing together, okay? Obviously, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, which is not unusual, because I never know what I'm doing. Okay, so that looks correct. Tim gives me a hard time because he knows what he's doing and I don't when it comes to these puzzles. He can do them fairly fast. I was cheating for a while because I didn't know how to do it. But I think I'm getting better. There we go. Got to make sure that one's straight. Mine are a little tight, and I'm not sure why mine are tight. But mine are a little tight. And I think that one goes there. I always get these ones wrong, and I don't know why I get these ones wrong, but I tend to get these ones wrong. Now, if I've got this... Oh, that's not quite flat in there. Oh yeah, mine are tight. I may have to loosen this one up. Let's have a look and see what's going on here while I wreck this. question, what do folks set their cooling at when printing ABS? I'm having issues with overhangs on ABS today. That's actually a really good question, Tim. Typically, I don't set any cooling on ABS, but if I've got overhangs, I typically will go ahead and make sure that my overhangs are set correctly so that they've got good support. Because sometimes you just need support. That's all it is. You just need support sometimes, and we've got a great big community that is great for support. I hear you, him. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, so let's see. Did I do this right? No, I did not do this right. I messed this one up again. I do this all the time. There's just this side is the side I mess up all the time. Let's see what we got going on here. Why do I always mess this one up? And Tim laughs at me every time that I do it, and I just messed it up again. Okay. I don't need the special instructions to do this. I know that. I know that I don't. I just have to know exactly which way I'm putting this together. And it's this one I got wrong. This is the one I got wrong. Yep. Okay, so let's see what we got going on. Dominic says, I might be interested in the K1 Max as long as it runs Marlin. I believe it is going to run Marlin. I do believe it is going to run Marlin. My understanding is that it will. Now, I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I am sorry. Why do I always get this one wrong? Okay, so that should be right now. That should be right. Should be. I say that with all confidence. And I have no confidence. There we go. Yes, I did get it right. I always get those two wrong. I don't know why. But here we go. Ta-da! There we go. All done. I did it. Dun, dun, dun. So this is made from the Polymaker silk dual color. This is the gold and magenta. I really like this. This is kind of cool. I'm digging this. Like, you can really see the color differences in this, and it's really, really cool. I'm digging it. All right, let's see what we got going on. Marlin stinks like dead fish. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. Printing the EV3 hot end for the rat rig does not require support. One piece keeps getting messed up on the overhangs and they're under 40 degrees. Definitely a cooling issue. Try applying maybe 10-15%. That might work. I'm just gonna call you O, because I can't pronounce that name. Nope, not at all. He says, I build my 3D printer using Ramps 1.6. Wow, I haven't heard of a Ramps 1.6 in a long time. Guy the Jedi says, no, it's Clipper-based, Creality OS. Question, where can I find that puzzle? Shadell, you can find that puzzle over on printables.com, and this is the Burr puzzle, B-U-R-R, the Burr puzzle. That's what this puzzle is. So that's what this is. This is the Burr puzzle. And I keep printing these, printing them one at a time. Hey, there's 3D Medic Vince. Welcome, welcome, sir. Welcome. So coming up on Tuesday I would normally be doing a continuing the build here. But I'm not going to be doing that on Tuesday. Tuesday, I hope that you'll join me to celebrate my 58th birthday here on, well, my birthday, but not 58 years on the internet. But I hope that you'll join me for a little bit of my favorite libation, a little bit of cake. And hey, there's Duff. Hello, Duff. So on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm going to be sitting down here talking and drinking and eating cake, and we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about on Tuesday night. If you want to talk about 3D printing, we'll talk about 3D printing. If you don't, well, we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. There it is, the Burr puzzle. And it comes in 2 sizes. Tim has put a link in there. I like this puzzle, it's really cool. I've done the small ones. Tim and I are going to be giving these puzzles away. Hey, there's Gary T. We're going to be giving these puzzles away and to the kids. And there is a secret to these puzzles, to putting them together. Mine are really tight. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for them to put it together, but I'm sure they will do it. I can't push them apart. There we go. It does take a little bit to push them apart. They just need to be worn in. There we go. And once they snap, these are nice and tight. They're not, you can throw these at the wall, they're not going to come apart, which I really like. But I really dig these, like these clips. And it was Tim over at 3D Printing Canada, DeWitt 3D Printing Canada, that turned me on to these. And I really like them. I put them on this, I'm putting them on this machine. For you guys that have just showed up, I wanted to show this off. This is the back panel for the Voron build that we're doing right now. I want to thank Chris from KB3D for doing the laser engraving on this back panel. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. And I can't say enough good things about Chris and the company to which he owns. So if you're in the States and you're looking for 3D printing products, check them out as well. Also want to remind you that if you are in Canada and you're looking for a good small business to support our friends over at 3D Lab Tech. That's 3dlabtech.com. And they have a lot of great products over there for your 3D printing needs as well. All right. Build a Business's question, do you suggest a temp tower for each roll of filament, or just based on the manufacturer? Does color matter? What other tests do you suggest when you're having a difficult time with a filament? Okay, that's actually a really good question. And anybody that knows me knows that I will, to my dying day, tout the fact that you need to print a temperature tower. Now, do you have to print it for every roll? No. Do you have to print it for every new color, regardless of manufacturer? I would say yes. Do you have to print it for every material? Not necessarily. But I would say that doing a temperature tower for your most used filaments, such as PLA, PETG, ABS, whatever you're printing, especially when you get into some of the other materials, it is well worth doing a temperature tower just to find out how your machine is going to respond, if nothing else, to using that filament through your extruder, through your hot end, and getting the most out of that filament. Because let's face it, some filaments are really expensive these days, and if you're using them for a specific product or project, you don't want to waste those higher priced materials. So save yourself the aggravation, do yourself a temperature tower. Now does color matter? And I did kind of touch on that. I would say first of all, regardless of the manufacturer, do a temperature tower. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you've got Arion, if you've got Polymaker, if you've got Matter 3D, I don't care what you've got filaments.ca. I think that you should always do a temperature tower. When you get a new roll of filament that you haven't used, do that temperature tower. Now, color does make a difference. Some colors, such as whites, print hotter than black does. Colors in between those, darker colors will print at a little bit of a lower temperature, while higher colors or brighter colors will print at a little bit of a hotter temperature. Anything that's got like the silks, which have an additive in them to give them that silky quality, you do need to do a temperature tower, because that material that is in it is going to react differently to the way that it's printed. So yes. And if you're having a difficult time, you're going to avoid having that difficult time if you just do that simple temperature tower right at the very beginning. When you open that filament, if it's a filament that you haven't used before, a color you haven't used before with that particular manufacturer, do a temperature tower. You're only going to waste maybe an hour and 20 minutes tops. And it's easy to slice them. So most slicers now do it for you. The secret is never take them apart. Yes, that's right. Never take them apart. I'm taking my daughter and grandson to see Mario on Tuesday. Might be home in time though. All right, Dominic, I hope that you guys have a good time seeing Mario. I actually want to see that myself. What else we got here? DeWitt says he went and saw it. Don't give me any spoilers, DeWitt. I don't want to know. Tim Postma's question is, how often should I change a idler switch in terms of a range of time? An idler switch. I'm not sure what you mean there by an idler switch. That's a term I've never heard of on a printer before. How long should you change an idler? How often you shouldn't need to change an idler unless it's giving you problems. Most idlers are pretty good. They are basically a bearing, more so than anything else. You may have to maybe re-grease it. White's also slightly abrasive due to the titanium oxide, David says. Yes, it is. Not all companies use a titanium oxide to make their whites, just so you know. So it can be, and it can be a little bit abrasive, and then on the other side of the spectrum it can't. All depends who's making the white. So I know like milk white is not quite white. It's sort of a off-white a little bit. So depending on who you buy it from. And then there's snow white, and then there's bright white, and then I don't know how many whites there are, but there are a lot. I remember when I worked for Spool 3D here in Calgary, at one time we had 8 different whites. 8. Who needs 8 different whites? It's either white or it's not white. Plain and simple as far as I'm concerned. We're reaching that half-hour point. I want to point out that in upcoming episodes, you're going to see that Polymaker is a new sponsor of ours, as well as 3D Lab Tech will be a sponsor of the show as well, and Filaments.ca. So we're going to have 3 sponsors on the show moving forward after April. We're going to hopefully get a couple of more in that will help us with giving away prizes and stuff as we move forward in the show this year. What else did I want to talk about? On this guy, you can see on the back side here, there's a little bit of blue. No, maybe you can't see that there. Maybe you can see it when I turn it this way. There's a little blue light here. And that little blue light, let's see if, will my hand pick it up? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. But that's for the, what do you call that thing? Yeah, this guy, the clicky probe. Yeah, that's what that's for. That's for the clicky probe. But I'm going to be working on this a little bit more today. And so it's going to be fun. I'm getting pretty close to the end. I'm going to be, I won't do a print until I've got it ready for you guys and we can see how it does the print. But I am going to be testing all the motors coming up here in the next day or two. So I just want to make sure that everything's moving in the right direction. I'm not going to cover firmware or Marlin or the printer config. If you want to see a great video on Clipper, I want you to go and check out Kermit's from Build It Basement. Kermit, please go ahead and put your link to your video in the chat today, because you did a really good job on that video, and there's a part 2 to that video coming as well. So he's covering the basics. If you've never done anything with Clipper before, I've done Clipper twice in my life. This is the 3rd time I've done Clipper, and this one was a little bit different. So I won't go too much into that, but I've got a video coming up where I'm going to be showing you on a breadboard how to do everything and get it all set up. Matt says that white does not just white for lithophane making. Yeah, white can be used for a lot of different things. Speaking of sponsors, you don't have your banner running. No, I don't have the banner running because this is not a build show. This is Ask for Help. The build show is completely different, and we have sponsors for the build. We don't have sponsors. Well, we do have sponsors, but we don't have them. I don't have the ticker running for this particular one, and I will get that done. Let's see. Speaking of okay, I saw that one. Tim Postman at the First Lady says, I'm really sorry if I missed something. I woke up at 3 a.m. 2 days in a row. I'm sorry to hear that, Tim. Hopefully you're sleeping well. Everywhere white is just different. Yeah, it is different. Tim Postman says, I hit like. Who's the other two? 28 people, 29 people watching, or 28 people, and only 17 likes. I guess not everybody likes me, but that's okay. You don't have to like me. That's fine. Oh, there's 18. You don't have to like me. That's fine. But I am going to be coming back to doing this live stream, Ask for Help, every Sunday, and this is the first of that. So I hope that you guys will continue to join me every Sunday for this. But what have I got coming up after we get through this build and we get through Maker Faire? I'm going to get back to doing the Hero Me Gen 7. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to show you how to assemble it, why it might be good for your older 3D printer, and how to use it and upgrade your older 3D printer. We're going to do that on an Ender 3. Then we are going to do a review on the Artemis 3D printer from FlashForge. I've had it sitting here for quite a long time, and I need to get a video out on that, so we're going to be showing you guys how to do that. I want to go through and do a full-blown series on filaments once this guy's done, because I want to talk about different filaments. I get all the time, what's the best filament to start with? And my first answer, of course, is PLA. But there are different filaments out there that you can use depending on the project in which you are doing. Hey, there's Bag of Chips. Welcome, Bag of Chips. Hey, there's The Apprentice 2021. I like your shirt. I got one a long time ago. Yes, this is my Darkwing Duck shirt. It's starting to see its age now. So, I made these with our heat press here at the First Layer Studios, so or my home. I have my own heat press, and I get vinyl and t-shirts all the time. So I need to go. Have a good stream. See you all later. All right, non-fam, thank you for joining today. I really appreciate you coming by and hanging out with me today, and we'll see you hopefully on Tuesday. Have a great Easter, man. Have a great Easter. Take care of yourself, that's for sure. So speaking of Easter, did you guys do any exciting prints for Easter? I didn't. I don't have kids. Well, I do have kids, but not here. I have grandkids that I don't see very often, and I don't send them stuff. I don't send them 3D printed stuff because they're just not into it. So other than that, yeah, tell me about some of the stuff that you guys 3D printed for your families or for other people in your family. I would love to know. I would really love to know. What do we got? All right, not much going on in the chat. Let's talk about some of the things that we're going to do. We've got to, like I said, we've got to put these on. So we're going to put those on, get that back panel on. I did go ahead, and let's just go back to this camera here real quick. I did go ahead, and I know you can't see that very well, but I did put a little strip in here, a 3D printed strip, to kind of hide these wires and get them up out of the way. I didn't burn out my tool head, but my lights are not on yet on my tool head either, so I've got to do the programming for that yet. I think that's going to be a fun time. I know you can see my nose, my Easter nose. My mustache. I got a nice, I can't believe how gray this thing has gotten over the last few years. I really can't. Shooter 59, he says, not Easter, but sent the grandkids a couple of dragons and a lizard. Wow, very cool. Very cool. I love dragons and lizards. I love dragons. I'm a big dragons fan. I love dragons. Bag of Chips says, I printed a Death Star egg. That's cool. That is very cool. Working on a couple of interviews coming up as well. Tim and I will probably get the opportunity to do interviews with Joe Pruscia when he is here at our local Maker Faire coming up in May. And you're going to hear me talk about that Maker Faire a lot because it is something that Tim and I are very excited about doing. And having a Maker Faire here in Calgary again, this is now the second year in a row that we've had it. There was a big break between 2017 and 2022. Unfortunately, the guy who was running it before, I don't know what happened, but I know COVID was part of that, but 2018 there wasn't one, and 2019 there wasn't one. I'm not sure what happened, and of course I'm not pointing any fingers or any blame, but it would have been nice to have another Maker Faire here. And I'm happy that it's going again, and that I'm in. Joe who? Joe Pruscia. Joseph or Yusef Pruscia, depending on how you say his name. Shadell 3D says, I just dropped on the Poor Boy channel. He has his printer printing. I would say he is really happy. Good. Did you get your Discord running? Yes, Bag of Chips, it is running. Somebody please put a link to the Discord in the chat, if you would please. I know it should be popping up every once in a while through the chat bot. There is a link there usually. But yes, the Discord is up and running. You can go over there. You don't have to pay anything, but you can become a member real quick. The link that we post is an open link here on the show. So you can go and get in on that. I'm usually in there Monday through Friday, usually from about 9 a.m. my time till about 3 p.m. my time. I'm not always on the video, but if you want me on video, you need to discuss something, or you want to talk in the help, the open help. I can always make sure that I'm available to help people. So that's been a real big help, and Marcel was a big help in that as well, getting things up and running. Gary T says, yeah, Maker Fairs are unexpectedly expensive to put on. They are. Maker Fairs are not cheap. For anybody that attends Maker Fairs, like ours to get into is like $10 for an adult at the door. That's pretty dang cheap. $15 or $20 for the whole weekend. I can't remember which, but that's pretty dang cheap to go and see a bunch of different people that are going to be available. Let me just open up another. I want to just show you our Maker Faire here and show you who the makers are. There we go, Maker Faire Calgary. I'm going to go to the main page here and let's go and see who the makers are. All right, let's go and let's just go and have a quick peek, shall we? Yes, yes, we shall. Let's go and do that. All right. So here we are over on the Maker Faire website. You're going to have to, excuse me, I can't see your chat at the moment, but we've got Princesses and Power Tools, Learn to Hand Drill. These gals are brilliant. I saw them a couple of years ago and they are amazing. There is From Consumption to Creation, 3D Modeling for younger learners. There's the Alberta Robot Combat Club, Generating Electricity with Garden Soil, Mind Fuel's Tech Futures Challenge Showcase. There is Integrated Drones, Student Organization for Aerospace Research is going to be there. Crafty Creations, 3D Printing for Beekeepers. This is kind of interesting. Calgary Protospace is going to be there. Alberta Tech Alliance Association, FRC Off-Season Tournament. I'm not sure what they do, but they're in robotics. Young Makers, Lego BattleBots are going to be there. The Calgary Rocketry Club is going to be there. Hey, there's the First Layer. They're going to be there. Capstone Engineering, General Bean, Makers Making Change is going to be there as well. Calgary 3D Printing Club, Beakerhead, Puppet Stuff Canada, DeWitt Tim, DeWitt 3D Canada is going to be there, and Wooden Handcrafts is also going to be there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking so forward to being able to check out this year's Maker Faire and be a part of this year's Maker Faire. We've also have Joseph Prussia coming, and Ben E. Brady will be there talking about making and film and how he got into the film industry through his making hobby. He's also going to be showing off some of his 3D printed chainmail and some of the other stuff that he does, which will be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what's going on there. Not Easter, but I printed the parts for the Dancing Maker Faire robot. Aha! Good, I'm glad to hear that. Who is the happy guy with the glasses? Who's the happy guy with the glasses? I'm not sure. I'm always happy. Ben E. Brady from Texas? Did Ben join in? I didn't see him come in. I don't know. I don't know. The happy guy is usually me. I'm always kind of happy. I like being happy. How much time we got left? Oh, we've got about 15 minutes left. That's good. Speaking of robots, I know I've got mine around here somewhere. I have one. Let me go and grab my robots. Where are you, Mr. Robot? There you are. You are hiding. I see you hiding underneath all of that stuff. I actually have two robots. Dun, dun, dun. So this is the first one I did. I'll just kind of show you the inside of this little guy. Let's go to camera one. Oop, what happened there? There we go. Let's go to camera one. There we go. So looking inside, you can see we've got a couple of servos there, and we've got one in the head. I have a couple of LEDs in the head as well. There's this little controller board down at the bottom. There's a lot of wires in this guy. But I really think that this one you have to plug in order to get him to work. I didn't put a battery in him, so he does have a little bit of of tethering, but you can program him. So I'm going to bring him along, and he does have full movement, and his eyes do light up and that sort of thing when he's plugged in. And I think this will be fun for the kids to try and program. I think I'm going to try and have a laptop there for the kids to try and program them. And then we are also going to have another computer there as well, so that we can run all of our printers. and he will be on the table. And I've got the other dancing one around here somewhere. I just don't know where he is at the moment, but I'll find him. I'll find him. I will definitely find him for everybody. Who's a happy guy with the glasses? Happy, happy, happy. I'm a happy, happy guy. If you're wondering why I've got such a short cable, I make up my own network cables. I always have, and I won't compromise on that. If I need a long one, I'll go out and buy one. But for little short stuff like this, I have lots of old cables kicking around with broken ends, so I just clip off the end and make my own cable. And then I have a cable tester and stuff, so I can make up my own network cables. But a couple of tools I want to talk about real quick. This guy has saved my bacon a lot. This is a reamer, and they're really cheap on Amazon. You can pull out the actual. They're reamer, or they're what do they call them? Get your flashing off. Get your flashing off. But yeah, these tools, I really, really like them. They're great for getting off layer lines or elephant's foot or anything like that. They're really good for that kind of stuff, and I really like them. This one comes with a spare tip in here, but you can get other tips as well and put them in. This is a great little tool. I really, really like it, and I've had mine around for years. And you know, the weird thing about this tool is I find it and then I lose it. I find it and then I lose it. Another thing, and I got this because of Tim. This is a precise electric screwdriver, and this thing works great. I love it. I just wish there was an extension that you could put on here so that you could get into other areas. But other than that, I love this. I got mine at Princess Auto, he says. Yeah, bag of chips, Princess Auto. I love Princess Auto. One of my favorite places. A good selection of little screwdrivers also helps as well. And of course down here I have my iFixit kit, which I use often. Get rid of those guys. We've got some tweezers here. I really like having tweezers on hand. It's always good to have a hobby knife. Be careful with a hobby knife. Good pair of needle nose pliers is always essential as well. These are all things that you should have in your toolbox anyway if you're 3D printing. And let's get rid of some of the stuff in here that doesn't need to be in here. There we go. I'll move some of that out of the way. All right, what else do we have in my little iFixit? Well, we've got a selection of bits which come in very handy. And the reason I got this one, this screwdriver, was because first of all, it is rechargeable. Secondly, I can use any of my iFixit bits, which I really, really like. My little iFixit ruler comes in real handy as well. I really like using that. I also have another one here that is good for drill bit sizes, but it's only imperial drill bits. I wish that it was metric, but it does have centimeters on one side and inches on the other. So that's always a good thing. And then of course, always have a little bit of sandpaper. I always try and have a little bit of sandpaper on hand because you never know when you're going to need it. And a selection of plugs and things like that always help, always handy. And a USB card reader, which is always handy. So these are kind of things that I like to have around when I'm working on a 3D printer, or I've got a new 3D printer that I have to put together. They're all kind of really good things that I like to have. So it's something that I would recommend. Let's see what's going on here. Deburring tool. Thank you, Geraldine Ham, my lovely wife Geraldine Ham, who turned 59, and now I'm talking out of school. She's gonna hate me. She's gonna hate me. But yes, she had a birthday this past Tuesday, and mine's coming up this Tuesday. And I want you guys to join me on Tuesday night for a little bit of a libation and some cake, and we're gonna just hang out and just have fun. Whenever I lose a tool, I always manage to find it the day after the new one arrives from Amazon, Dominic says. You know, I have that same problem. I try not to buy new tools because I have that problem where things will just go missing. And it's because I don't put my tools away properly, and I should. And I'm trying to rectify that. Next, we'll see a wrench fly across the screen. Yeah, you might. Here's another kind of cool tool I like having. Now, this, you're probably wondering what this is. This is, and it's a little bit bent. This is actually a palette knife, a number 4 palette knife for painters. You'll find this in art stores. It's a number 4 palette knife, and it's used to put your things, or used to manipulate your paints on your palette, or use it to spread things out on your canvas. That type of thing. What are we drinking Tuesday? Well, we'll talk about that in just a sec. But I really like this because it's nice and thin. And if you're a little bit too close to the bed, it can get up underneath those parts and pop them right off the bed. And it's really kind of nice. I like it. It's something I would recommend everybody get, a little palette knife like that. I don't care. I look way younger than you anyways, Geraldine says. Yes, she does look way younger than me. My wife is part of the fountain of youth, I think. And that's why I stay with her. I think she's a vampire maybe, because I gotten really old looking and she just keeps staying the same age as we move through life. She still looks like she did when we met, which is weird. I think she's a vampire. She's sucking all the life out of me. On Tuesday, we are going to be having ourselves a little bit of Jack Daniels and Coke. That's my preferred drink. I'm a Jack Daniels drinker. So she says, I don't put hers back either, and they're pink, and he wouldn't use them. I don't use hers if I don't have to. I'm always buying new tools. My wife says I have a tool sickness. HVAC A to Z. You know, my wife used to call me the gadget guy because I always had a gadget to solve whatever problem, whether that be in woodworking or electronics or whatever. I always had a gadget to solve my problem. And she used to call me the gadget guy. I'm not so bad anymore now that I'm into 3D printing because I can make all the gadgets that I need for the most part. The Apprentice 2021 says, Jerry is only 39. I said this last week. Yes, she is only 30. Actually, when we met, she was 32. She was 32, I believe. And I don't think she's aged since then. She still looks 32. She doesn't look any different than when I met her. Her hair's long again. Dwight says, age is just a number and no one should be ashamed, embarrassed about their age. My thoughts anyhow. I agree. Nobody should be embarrassed about their age. We've all done the age thing, and you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, there's Jose Ferreira. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Jake and Coke, check. I'll make sure I have the same, okay? Jack. Yeah, Jack, Jake. You can call it whatever you want. Cheers. I drink to that, Richard. Build a basement, do, Inspector Gadget. Yes, I was kind of an Inspector Gadget. I'm a Jack Daniels guy. I've been a Jack Daniels guy for a long time. Weird thing is that, we're kind of getting off 3D printing topic, but the weird thing is that as a young guy, I drank a lot of beer when I was in my teens, my late teens, when I wasn't supposed to be drinking. I drank a lot of beer, but it was never my favorite. Beer to me was just never my favorite. But when I found hard liquor, man, I liked hard liquor. And Crown Royal used to be my preferred rye for a long time. My dad, funny, my birth father, who's long since passed away, was a 5-star drinker. And anybody that remembers 5-star whiskey here in Canada, they used to have a little plastic star that was glued on the front of the bottle that you could take off, and people would put them on their fridges and stuff. Then I went to Crown Royal, which had that wonderful little bag that everybody put illegal stuff in, or you kept your marbles in it. Yeah, when I discovered Jack Daniel's, that became my whiskey of choice, and that is the one that I really like. Shooter 59 says, been with my wife since she was 14, dated a few years, got married, and wow, 45 years. Congratulations, Shooter. Congratulations. DeWitt's doing his stream tonight? Yeah, that explains a lot. Too sweet. Yeah. That purple bag. Remember that purple bag, Gary? I love that purple bag. That thing was awesome. Dominic says, I haven't had a drink in 15.5 years. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. Shadell, I didn't know they had beer way back then. Shut up. You haven't tasted alcohol until you've tried 90 proof Jamaican rum. Now, funny thing is, I have drank Jamaican rum because I've had friends from Jamaica, and yeah, believe me, it is an amazing drink. Like DeWitt Canada, I am also a fan of Zambuca. For anybody that doesn't know what Zambuca is, it's the licorice flavored liqueur that will mess you up. I've seen it done. You know, as far as drinking goes, I don't drink very often, and I may buy a bottle of alcohol once, maybe twice a year. Usually somebody brings me a bottle. But yeah, I'm not a huge drinker either. I do enjoy a drink from time to time, but I'm not a huge drinker. Jose Ferreira, maybe I sleep early so I can catch the end of your stream. Okay, good. Shadell, don't worry. I'm only 2 years younger than you, 56 in June. Congratulations, Shadell. Yeah, but you see, you're out on the East Coast. You're in Newfoundland, so the Newfoundlanders don't look their age. Unless they've drank a lot of Screech. Then they look usually older than their age. For anybody that doesn't know what Screech is an amazing alcohol made in Newfoundland. It's very famous here in Canada, but you have to get real Screech. Don't buy the crap that you'll find in the liquor store. You have to get real Screech from Newfoundland if you want the good stuff. Then there's 190 proof grain alcohol, Everclear. Yes, Everclear. You must drink Ouzo. I have drank Ouzo. Yeah, I have drank Ouzo, Matt. I do like a shot of Ouzo every once in a while. I like licorice. I like black licorice. People might call me crazy, but I love black licorice. I'm a jujubes guy, so if there's licorice jujubes in the jujube pack, I'm all down for them. I usually eat them first. Then I eat the licorice all sorts. My mother was a big fan of those. I love those as well. I really like the licorice part. I care less about the rest of them, but the licorice ones I really like. I don't know why, but I do like black licorice. You just don't want to see it on the way out. Gary T says, if you're going to George Street in St. John's, book a couple of days off afterwards. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. That is something I will keep in mind for sure. I'm sure there's a story there that Gary's going to impart on me. Duff says, not a fan of Crown Royal. Kind of tired of it. It's maybe just north of me. Okay. Oh, it's made just north of you. That's cool. Ouzo, similar to Jägermeister. I don't like Jägermeister. That stuff tastes like crap. Funny story about Jaeger. One Christmas, and my wife's going to kill me for telling this story, but I still find it funny. One Christmas, her sister and her niece came to celebrate Christmas with us, and we had a variety of different liquors, and they decided that they were going to introduce my wife to Jaeger. Well, they introduced her to Jaeger all right. They made her some Jaeger bombs, and they drank Jaeger, and by 5 o'clock that afternoon, my wife was in bed because she was so drunk. And I had to take care of her. And I tease her about it all the time. She never gets that drunk. That was the only time she's actually really been drunk in all the time that we've been together. And I blame her family for it. George sounds like a great guy. DeWitt says, question, would you ever substitute aluminum spacers in the bearing stack with PLA ABS printed spacers? If not, why? I don't think I would, because those spacers over time would wear out. And I think the metal spacers are just longer lasting. They will never wear out. So, especially made out of PLA, I wouldn't make them out of PLA. If I was going to make spacers, I'd probably make them out of nylon or ABS at the very least. Yeah, Gary, Jaeger bombs. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Matt says Jägermeister is a herb schnapps. Plug your ears. At Geraldine, yeah. She says that stuff's not allowed in our house anymore. She's not wrong. We don't have any Jaeger in our house, and we never will. I don't drink it. I think it tastes like morning after breath is after a good night of drinking. That's what I think it is. Oh, it tastes like Vicks cough syrup. Okay. Hey, there's Nuno. Welcome, Nuno. We're having a discussion about liquor for some odd reason. But we're actually running over time today. Wow. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, as far as where we are in the build and what we've got coming up, I think we're in good shape. I'm going to be puttering around with the firmware a little bit today. I may have to call my friend Build It Basement to kind of walk me through a couple things. But I think I'm pretty much ready to kind of test the axis and make sure that all my motors are going in the right direction. And then we might actually print something on my birthday. That'd be a heck of a birthday present if we printed something. I got some new stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys pretty soon as well on an upcoming video. So that'll be fun. Okay, if I'm waiting on spacers from China, to continue your rat rebuild, thought I could maybe get away with printing them. What size spacers do you need, Tim? Tell me what you need, because I've got spacers here. Just tell me what you need, man. I'm happy to help. Dr. Duff says, Dr. McGillicuddy's butterscotch liquor is dangerous. Feels like you can have it with pancakes or ice cream. Okay. This is 3D Printing Alcohol Anonymous. Yes, Matt, this is what it's become. Dr. Mentholmint. That'll wake you up and makes you minty fresh. Okay. Yeah, we've been talking about liquor. But my favorite drink, my drink of preference, of course, is Jack Daniels with some Coke and a little bit of lime. I don't mind it with a little bit of lime from time to time. I don't mind it warm. I don't mind it cold. I'll drink it any way that it's given to me. So, but we are at 29 viewers. Wow. Wow. We're going to keep going here for a little bit, I think. Oh yeah, that stuff is good. M5, 3 and 4 millimeter aluminum spacers. I believe I have M5 and M3s here. I don't think I have any M4s. But you're also waiting on a bunch of bolts, hammerheads, not common parts. The M3s and M5s, come on over, Tim. I've got some here that you might be able to use. So yeah, just come on over and grab them. You're only 10 minutes away. Have you ever tried Jack Daniel's honey? As a matter of fact, I have, Duff. I bought a bottle around Christmas time. I bought a bottle of Jack Daniel's, and it came with a honey sampler. And my wife and I both shared the little, the little bottles you get in hotels. We shared it, and man, was that nice. I could see myself drinking that just over ice with no mix whatsoever. It was a very, very nice drink. I really enjoyed it. It's not something I'd drink a ton of because it is kind of sweet, but yeah, I really did enjoy it. Hello, my name is Nuno, and I'm addicted to 3D printing and alcohol. Yeah, it's not bad as a shot, that's for sure. Absolutely. Honey was very nice. Yes, yes, it was. You know what? I might just pick up a bottle of honey instead of just buying the regular stuff. Maybe I'll buy a bottle of honey and just, I know I'll have to fight off my wife for it, but maybe I'll buy a bottle of honey. Hey, and some good news around here, not 3D printed related, but my wife is gainfully employed again. And she starts her new job on the 17th of April. So everybody, please wish her well and wish her good luck with her new career. She is going to be working for a building company, I believe. And she's going to be a receptionist for that company. And it's a small company, but it looks like it's going to be a company that she's going to have a lot of fun at. So please, everybody, wish her the best in her new position. I bought out the City of JD Honey last week. LOL. Duff says, but Duff, you're not in Calgary. I'm in Calgary. I'm sure there's some here. Geraldine liked Southern Comfort on the Rocks. Very nice. Congrats. Good luck. That's great news. Construction. Oh, construction company. Okay. Which means we'll be able to get back to doing what we like doing. Shadell says, have you had spiced rum with root beer? When I was in Whitecourt with a friend, gave me some, and it's pretty good. I've never had spiced rum with root beer. I cannot say that I have. I cannot say that I have. Does she need my bank details so I get the money? Congratulations. No, Matt, she doesn't. She needs my bank details. Duff says, not any in Winnipeg. Okay, there you go. Winnipeg, my old stomping grounds. I grew up in Manitoba. Hey, there's Mark Davis. I didn't see you slip in there, Mark. Welcome, welcome. We're going to wrap things up here. It's almost 10 after, and we've kind of covered a lot of what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to get back to working on my 3D printer here, and I'm almost ready to get it up and printing. Maybe we can print something on Tuesday. What do you think? Maybe we'll have it up and printing on Tuesday. I would really like to try that. But until I see you guys next time, please remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. And join me on Tuesday night for cake and a little bit of Jack Daniels as we celebrate my 58 years and coming up on 6 years of doing this show. Wow, 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 wow. Been doing this a long time. But remember, until I see you guys next time, that I hope that you'll come back and see me again. And we'll see you Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then we're just going to wrap this thing up probably next Thursday. Or this Thursday. Who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows.